Yes, I can
Perfect.
see your screen.
Welcome back to round 3. On the left side, we have Yoshi and Bruse, a omnipresent aggro deck. On the right side, we have the MV4 Atraxa. That's a deck you don't see too often these days.
Yes. I don't know if it was ever really popular, maybe in the 30 life days?
No, after that
Is it
also. When I think it was prior to you exploring the format. But
okay. Yeah.
for some time it was basically what people later tried with Timna Thrasios, just having a 4-color mid-rangey value pile. It was a cool deck, I think. You had Atraxa at the helm, and then you played a couple of Planeswalkers, but also like Deathrite Shaman, Spell Queller, and whatever fits into the color and is of greater value. Was not too interesting. And then at some point, I think in multiplayer, people played Super Friends with it. And some of the better Planeswalkers or the cheaper Planeswalkers also went over into the dual commander variant.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because it came out in the same set that Partners came out in, so I feel like, um, I think most of the time, a Thrasios Tymna pile is gonna be better than, an Atraxa pile, but,
Yes.
that's how metas sometimes develop, where I think people caught on pretty late to how good Partners were, or at least some of the worst ones. I think Bruse got taken up pretty quickly, and, Veil Smasher was obviously problematic the
Yeah.
second it came out.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, back then, there was this whole cycle of CMC4 or like CMC4 4-color commanders, Atraxa amongst Breya. There was the Black Cut variant 2.8, I think, that had like a crazy effect, was rarely seen. I don't really remember all the other cards. I think there were only 5, right? Not 10.
No,
Should be
there was
on.
10.
Was it 10? Okay.
No, there was 15. 2 in each deck. Some 2-color combinations had 1, and some had 2.
Okay.
Orzhov
Yeah.
had 2 with
No.
Tymna
I'm
and
not talking
Rayhan.
about partners. I'm talking about the
Oh, sorry.
4-color commanders
Oh, the
with
4-color
CMC4.
commanders, there was 4.
4. What was the fourth one? So we had Atraxa, we had
Um,
Kianos and whatsoever, and then there
yep.
was Breya, and what was the other one?
The guy that you've played on the channel.
Yidris, right? Yidris.
Idris, yep.
Yidris, true. And here we see a card, the first Planeswalker in this Super Friends variant, Ashiok Nightmare Weaver. It's also a card that I probably have not seen for years now.
Yes.
Simply because, the effect is not too crazy.
The effect is pretty weak. I think if you can get it up to using the proliferate from Atraxa, it kind of races it up to a very high total pretty quickly, and it generates a lot of loyalty counters, and so sometimes it's going to get ignored.
Yeah.
It kind of has that upside, but it's also a 3-mana planeswalker that doesn't affect the board instantly, and we can see this doesn't do that much against when you're at 7 life, against these aggro cards. But he has played a Moat,
That's
which
so
shuts
cool.
down everything he's doing for now. So that changes a lot.
Yeah. I think we had Moat. Martin played it 1 or 2 times in the deck on cam. At
Yep, I had
best.
Moat in a couple of decks, but mostly because I really wanted to play Moat in those decks.
Yeah.
It was in some Enchantress piles that I played. I don't know if I ever played
True.
those
I
on
think you
cam.
did. You had like
Um,
one Sithas variant with Moat also. I
yeah,
remember
yeah.
that, yeah. And we had it on cam. But I think Moat was not like the list had Moat, but we couldn't show it on cam. Really cool card. Against Yoshi, very powerful, obviously, because the deck probably has like 1 or 2 spells that can deal with enchantments and artifacts. Maybe Witch Enchanter and then something else. I've seen some Boros lists playing the new 2 mana, I think it's instant speed, destroy target enchantment, exile cards, and it has a third effect. You see it in Modern in the sideboards from time to time, but I don't know how it's called. Thraben something?
I'm not sure what it's called either right now.
But you know which card I'm talking about, right? It's from
Mm.
Modern Horizons 3, I guess. So here we
You mean
have
Thraben Charm?
Thraben Charm, right? Thraben Charm.
Okay. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah, but Moat, cool card. Very good in this
Moat
situation.
definitely cool card. One card that I feel like is probably being played in the Atraxa deck mostly because it looks super cool is Nimbus Maze. You see it in his lands there.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a card that has been outprinted. There's much better things that you could be playing, but it's such a cool card optically
True.
that
True.
some players continue to play it.
There's another cool card. There's a original Jason foil, a copy that you
Yes.
also have, and we rarely get to
Yes.
play it these days because Jace is more or less outdated.
But I have played that Jace a lot.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. But whenever I bring together a blue pile that could think about playing Jace in the end, it leaves the deck again.
Yep. And I've had him in a lot of decks where in the end, he ends up being the cut just because, that bounce ability is the only way he has to affect the board. So either you're playing him when behind, and bouncing creatures when behind is okay, but not that strong. And so it used to be, incredibly powerful, but I think the amount of situations where you can deploy him and be happy about it has decreased quite a bit.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's quite interesting here to. This is more or less a travel back to the past, seeing this Atraxa variant, which is quite refreshing. You have, I mean, okay, the metagame is very diverse, I think, these days, but from time to time, it's really cool to see such decks in a tournament. And I think those decks benefit from the fact that sometimes your opponent either doesn't really know what's going on, or they can't fully remember like how this deck was structured and which planeswalkers were relevant, and sometimes it makes a difference. I mean, in this case, Ashiok was not really crazy, but here we see a newer Garruk, also quite undertuned for 6 mana, I think. Like 6 mana, just doing 2 tokens.
I mean, creating 2/2/2s that, if they're used to block, make Garruk bigger. It's okay.
Yeah,
but
it's more like
it's
more like a standard card, right? It's more like a standard design.
Yeah, this card would be too powerful for standard if it was printed at 5 mana, but if it was printed at 5 mana, it could, maybe be in a Modern Horizons or something like that, and then it would be playable in our format.
And then it would probably still see no play because players rarely include any CMC5 plus commanders apart from Teferi.
It does represent lethal next turn.
Yeah.
Because he gets to proliferate it with Atraxa,
it does not,
and then he gets to ultimate it to swing for.
He cannot attack with the tokens. Only with Tabio.
He can't attack with the tokens, but I think.
So this should be 10
Oh no,
damage.
he's at 12. Yeah, okay, that's 10 damage. Never mind. I thought he still had to attack this turn. Not sure what he's done there.
Ultimate. I think it. Yeah, he activated the ultimate of Garruk, it seems.
Okay.
So going for the emblem.
Yeah.
And now
so he
taking
goes
for
2.
Yep. And that's pretty much a pointless situation to keep on playing for the Boros player because, as we said, at some point you could have thought about conceding because like combination of Moat and Atraxa gaining back all the life. You worked so hard on decreasing.
It's very unlikely that he gets to win that game. I think there is some value to playing it out
Yeah,
for the sake of information.
that is correct.
On the other hand, we see the round timer, so this is a pretty fast game.
True.
So he has time to play those 2 games down. It
Yeah.
just depends, like if he looks to be in a bad situation game 2, for now he's gonna have to hope that the opponent doesn't stall that game for half an hour, because sometimes there is value in after 10 minutes into the round it's decided that you're probably going to lose the game if there's a moat in play and a domination has been cast, so everything has to go right for you to even think about getting back into the game.
No.
Especially against counter spells where you sometimes you just have to go for it. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work, and then you go next basically. It's that's very value, being able to
That's
discard
pretty cool. Yeah.
Detective's Phoenix.
Unfortunately, you cannot cast the Scarlet.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite a good hand. Having the mental misstep against the dog is very valuable. Otherwise, there would be at least a 3/3 creature on the board now, in addition to Inti.
Yep.
I'm not the biggest fan of Atraxa's hand. Now there is a DT, but the starting hand was like Psychic Frog, Mental Misstep. Obviously, he kept the hand because of the misstep and the 5 fairy.
And the Psychic Frog, right?
Yeah, I mean the Psychic Frog, the 5 fairy for. Do you think? I'm not sure if Psychic Frog is that crazy here.
I think it is.
Okay.
Out of the perspective that one he gets to. So
Now
if
that
his
he
line
searched for
was
Moat,
now his search for a Moat,
yeah,
it's
that's
pretty good.
Yeah, that's true.
But also out of this perspective that you have a blocker that you can potentially make bigger in order for it to soak up some damage. And if not, then if your opponent's always attacking, then you can get back with the frog.
Yeah, I always think about like if he would play against a mono red deck, I would perfectly agree. But then again, there is some white removal included, which just exiles the creature. But still, yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah, failure might be a problem if it wasn't for the mode, and it seems that Yoshi missed a couple of land drops here.
Yeah, that
because otherwise it doesn't really the Psychic Frog doesn't do anything. You would never try to pitch some cards into it to make it bigger because failure can just flicker it and the counters are gone.
Yeah.
But here we have quite a good interaction.
So he's at 9. Is already let's say a dangerous life total.
Yes, true.
But considering that he's probably going to attack with a frog and then play Moat, he's pretty good there.
Yeah.
And if he survives this turn with Moat in play, then he has a mana leak and a remand to stop him from ever doing anything again for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Oh, he found his 3rd land.
Yeah, probably won't seal the deal.
It would be interesting to know if Yoshi does play removal for the Moat. But we can't check that.
I have the decklist. I did not send you the decklist. I think the list plays Witch Enchanter, but I'm not entirely sure. There's a Magus.
Okay, Magus of the Moon does delay a bit. We're probably going to see a flying frog.
Definitely. And here's the big problem. Since the failure needs to attack in order for the triggered ability to trigger, there's no way of Like at the beginning of combat, flicker something would be even better.
Yeah.
In this case, you could get rid of Moat. For instance,
There's another card that I really don't like this deck playing. Demolition Field.
yeah, Demolition Field is kind of weird, especially
I feel like there isn't enough value lands in the format to warrant a Demolition Field.
here we see a Nazet. Do you see this Nazet? The
I love this Narset.
4
I
mana
love it
Azorius?
optically. I think it's absolutely horrible.
Yeah, I think so too. The card is absolutely outdated. But okay, he had the guts to compete with this deck. I think
so he's put him on a 2-turn clock.
Considering the fact that Teferi he's very like there are 4 blue cards in his hand, right? Or at least 3. And it's very unlikely that he manages to cast any of these cards. So I would have probably just binned all the remaining 4 cards to put my opponent on a 2-turn clock. Because last turn it would have been 4 more damage. So now that would be a lethal swing already.
Yeah.
Being in such a position, you want to have the least chances for your opponent to randomly find something to deal with the board. Now, okay,
there is the kind of
something.
contentiousness of maybe finding some white removal. He has 1 white mana, which he has access to.
Yeah, and that's it.
Balance wouldn't do it. Swords to Plowshares. I think it's just Swords to Plowshares that he has.
Probably.
He can't cast Leyline. No, he can cast Leyline Binding. So he has two outs.
It's over. Nothing for the Yoshi player. And there was a fast and fancy one with Atraxa, MV4 to get some. Yeah, I don't want to say it's not really innovation, but as I said, having a travel back to the past, re-enjoying some old legends, which is cool. As I said, it's really cool that people sometimes bring such cards to the tournament still.
Yep. I mean, I think Moat is a very good tool against some of the format at the moment.
Definitely, yes. Yeah.
And not a very good tool against other parts of the format.
True.
I think Aminato Reanimator doesn't care that much about it.
Yeah, and the other control matchups also don't care about it. Like Atraxa and Tivit both have flying, so it's not just too crazy. But I could definitely see the card inside an Atraxa or a Tivit deck, to be honest, because it's powerful. Okay, thank you very much for tuning in, and we head over to the 4th round.
Yeah, see you next time.
See you next time.